Good morning. It's Monday, January 2023. I'm out on a lovely dog walk with Lola. She's up ahead, exploring, training her sense of smell, hearing. After a rainy weekend, actually wrapped up indoors. So not only is Lola, but also I'm itching to get out this morning. So I've come out onto one of my favourite walks. As you can see, the sun is shining, the birds are singing. It feels like a spring day, but it's still only early January. But what I'd like to do this morning is I'd like to share with you a practice, a natural mindfulness practice that I share with those that come and walk with me, that I've been sharing with the natural mindfulness guides that have trained with me to share as well, because this practice is a wonderful breathing practice. I've never really liked breathing exercises. I've always found them a little bit controlling, particularly when there's been somebody at the front of the class sort of appearing to me to be training me to breathe their way, the way they breathe. And I've always found that quite difficult. I think that's part of my nature. I tend to want to find my own way. I was always accused as a child as being somebody who had to learn the hard way. You know, my parents could give me all the advice they knew, but I often, I had to fall over. I had to feel life to learn from it. I couldn't just learn from life by listening to what other people told me. And that is part of my nature, and I still carry that with me now. So I always found those breathing exercises quite tricky and difficult to do. So I was really struggling to find a breathing exercise that I felt congruent and I felt authentic sharing with other people. And I came across what I call seasonal breathing. Staying in breath is another word I call it. Breathing with nature is another way to look at this. But so this is a cycle of breathing. So I'm going to share that with you now to give you an example of how you can do this yourself. So you can go out on a natural mindfulness wellbeing walk and you have a little practice that you can do straight away. I have quite a few people contact me and sort of say, Ian, what's a very simple introduction to natural mindfulness? Something I can do. And so this is my recommendation. Now there's lots of practices, but this is the one I usually start with people that are first timers on my walk, and it's the one I do mostly. I've already been doing it on this walk, which reminded me to make this video. So here we go. It's a breathing cycle. So think of this as a cycle, and use the cycle of the seasons of spring, summer, autumn, and winter to help you stay aligned with nature, but also aligned with your own breathing. Now, the two most noticeable, the two areas of my breathing, or parts of the cycle of my breathing that I'm most conscious of, and I assume you'll be most conscious of as well, is my in-breath. It's life-saving. We have to breathe if we do it automatically. So the in-breath and the out-breath. So I've labelled those two parts of the breathing cycle as the spring breath is the in-breath. It's refreshing like spring. And the autumn or fall breath, which is the release breath. So we have a refreshing in-breath for spring, and then a releasing out-breath for autumn. So maybe just stop the video, pause the video now yourself, and then just practice that. A refreshing in-breath, spring. You can do this in your garden, you can do this in a park, you can do this in your front room, but open up the window and let some fresh air in as well, let some nature in too. So just practice this, pause the video and practice this. Refreshing in-breath for spring, and out-breath, release for autumn. So just have a go at that. Okay, hopefully you had a go at that and you had a little practice at that. Now I'm going to introduce the two other seasons that are missing from this. We have the refreshing spring breath, then we skip to the releasing autumn or fall breath. So what about summer and what about winter? Well, summer and winter are the pauses between the in-breath and the out-breath, and the pause between the out-breath and the next in-breath. So spring for me is the in-breath, as I said before, the refreshing in-breath. And then that pause is summer. Now for me, summer is relaxing. So I think of relaxing summer as I just pause. I don't hold my breath, I simply pause. and notice that I'm no longer breathing in and I haven't yet started to breathe out. So just in that moment, just in that pause, I just notice, and in my mind I think of I think of summer and relaxing. So let's just put that into the cycle. So a refreshing spring breath in, a summer pause, relax. I feel my body relax, I feel my mind relax. And then when it feels right, when it feels ready, I release that breath. So it's a spring breath in, it's a pause, not holding, because you're just waiting for when it feels natural to release. Nature knows when to release the leaves. We can't make it release the leaves. I can shake a tree with leaves on it that are starting to go brown, but it will only release those leaves and release that dead wood when it feels right for the tree to do so, when the environment is right, when the wind is right, when nature is right. So do that with your breathing. So a refreshing spring in breath, pause for a relaxing summer, and then when it feels right, release the autumn breath. And then pause again through the winter. You know, winter hibernates, everything goes back into the earth, and so I think of the winter rest as a time for resting and repairing and rejuvenating myself and getting ready for spring. So I notice that in the cycle. So as I've released the out breath of autumn, I then notice that pause, notice that transition, notice that peace, that tranquility, that comfort. And then when my body tells me it's right, when nature tells me it's right, spring comes. A lovely refreshing in-breath of spring, another relaxing pause through the summer of that pause, and then a release, an autumn fall release, and then another pause, the rest, the repair, the rejuvenation of a winter's rest, and then the next spring, in breath, refreshing in. So you see, it's a cycle. It's a wonderful cycle connected to the seasons. It's a wonderful cycle connected to the 4 R's: refresh, relax, release, and rest, repair. 5 R's. So it's easy to remember. Maybe watch this video a couple of times. I'll make it less than 10 minutes so you can go through it a couple of times to familiarize yourself with it. And then next time you're walking, just practice some of those. I intermingle them. Sometimes I just focus on spring and autumn, spring refresh and autumn release. Sometimes particularly if I want to go to sleep and I want to relax, I focus on the summer relax pause, and I focus on the winter rest and repair pause. So you can play around with these as you go through them. But have a go on out, have a go, come back, and then let me know how you get on with this breathing with nature, seasonal breathing, staying in breath. It's a wonderful, wonderful exercise, practice that the more I do, the more consciously aware I become, not only of my breathing and the well-being that brings me, but also of nature and of the cycles of nature. And it's interesting, each time I walk in a different season. So if I'm walking in spring, I can really refreshingly breathe in spring as I'm walking in it. If I'm walking in summer, I can focus on that relaxing pause of summer. If I'm walking in the autumn and watching the leaves fall, I can focus on the releasing, not only the toxic breath that I no longer need in my body, but also releasing tension in my body, releasing tension in my thoughts and my mind. And then if I'm walking in the winter, all wrapped up and warm and cozy, I can think of that rest period, that repair period. Slow my pace down a little. I slow my pace down in the summer, and I slow my pace down a little in the winter, and then walk a little bit more vigorously in the spring and in the autumn. Anyway, I'll leave that with you. Have a play with it. Do what you like with it, and please come and share how you get along with me too. I'll leave a copy of this on YouTube. I'll put a copy on my Instagram, and I'll also put a copy on Nature Connection World, which I encourage you to come and join. It's our free worldwide community for those that care about nature consciousness and want to help me spread nature consciousness worldwide. So enjoy your day. Go out and practice this, as I said before. Let me know how you get on, and take care till the next time we connect. Bye bye now.